darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Warning! It's time to surprise ya with a card called Shedinja. We cannot get injured, that's alive, yeah, go figure. We have our boy Oranguru, research management, that's so cool too. Get the bugs back, yeah, so screw you. No prize cards for you, who knew? We could loop this combo to infinity. Zebstrika with sprint so easily, to draw the cards so cleverly. It will drive the opponent to insanity. Get rid of them goose with a slow gang. More trumping with a hiker is provoking. The opponent can keep up, they're choking. Shedinja's OP, we're not joking, yes! Episode 221, Shedinja. What's up YouTube, it's Zebstrika here and welcome to episode 221, which will be all about Shedinja. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to do so. You'll get the latest TCG information and best new deck information in town. And also, I want to let you guys know that you should check out, of course, Pedro. He's actually the guy that invented Shedinja, the concept. I've seen it at the European Internationals and I was like scratching my head. Is this a real deck? Until he actually became like a top 64 with a deck like this. And now at the Santa Clara regionals, it has been confirmed. Shedinja is a real threat and is actually a viable deck. We'll discover all ways to play with the Shedinja in this video, all the tech cards and all that good stuff. So definitely stick around and also check out my merchandise page if you haven't already to get yourself a hoodie, t-shirt or whatever. There's a lot of things available at that merchandise page. Anyhow, today we're gonna talk about Shedinja here. Shedinja is of course a Pokemon with only 40 HP stage 1 that looks very miserable. It also has an attack that puts damage counters around, but we're not gonna be able, we're not gonna use that. We're gonna be using it for the Vessel of Life. Once during our turn, before we attack, we may discard, all cards attached to this Pokemon and attach it to one of our Pokemon. And then, when a Pokemon that is knocked out and this card is attached, they get one prize card fewer. So that means if we equip it to a non-GX, they will actually get 0 prize cards if they get a KO, and definitely we're gonna spam Shedinja in this deck list. So Shedinja is gonna be a main partner, the main way to play this deck. And how do we get all these Shedinjas out and play? That's our good friend Zebstrika here. Zebstrika is of course a stage 1. We've seen it before. It's the one from Lost Thunder with Sprint. Once during our turn we may discard our hand and draw 4 cards. So what we're gonna be able to do is get out a couple of Zebstrika, draw to our entire deck, and try to get these Shedinjas out and equip them to all of our Pokemon. Now you might wonder, once our Shedinjas are gone, there's nothing we can do. Well, that's where you're wrong. That's where Oranguru comes into play. Oranguru with the resource management lets us put 3 cards from the discard pile on the bottom of our deck in any order. So what we're gonna be able to do is spam resource management as soon as a Shedinja sees the discard pile or whatever, or if they knock a Pokemon out with Shedinja equipped, doesn't matter, they get 0 prize cards, they go to the discard pile, and then with resource management we can put them back in the deck, and with Sprint we can draw them out immediately. So we're gonna loop this strategy here, and that is gonna be the main focus of the deck. I've seen it work with 3 different types of energies. You typically only need 3 energies in a deck with Shedinja. This is a Shedinja loop. We're not gonna attack for damage. We're just gonna spam research management and try to equip as many Shedinja as possible so the opponent will have it hard. So the first way I've seen it play is with water type energies, 3 water type energies, and they also included Slowking. That was the very first time that we've seen the Shedinja archetype, the Shedinja Control deck in action. That was with this Slowking, with the Memory Melt. We can look at the opponent's hand and put a card we find there in the Lost Zone. Why is this very crucial? Well, this deck automatically has a tough time against things like Guzma. Early game they get KOs and then they want to Guzma something that does not have a Shedinja equipped. So the worst enemy for this deck is Guzma. How do we get rid of all these Guzma shenanigans? Well, there is Slowking. That was the first way it was played. So you try, of course, and limit the opponent if they have like a couple of Guzmas in their hand. You try to use Memory Melt to get rid of them and the Lost Zone so they have less chance to Guzma. And as soon as all their Guzmas are gone, they will have to deal with the active time and time again, and they will have it hard. So that was the first way we've seen it play. The next thing we've seen it play was with metal type energies, and with metal type energies you could use Mount Cornet. I don't have it on the screen right now, but with Mount Cornet you could actually get energies from the discard pile again. So if you're running out of energies, use Mount Cornet and you can get your energies. You can loop energies. That's also a way you can play it with 3 metal type energies. And then the last way you can play it is with 3 fire type energies. Why would you play fire type energies? Well, because fire is huge right now and everybody's playing that Heat Factory Prism Star. If it's on the field, don't bother with it, just try and use it for yourself. You have of course resource management to get your energies back. So there's 3 ways to play it: with water type energies and Slowking, with metal type energies and the Mount Cornet, and with fire type energies just to abuse the abundance of fire types in the format, so you can use Heat Factory Prism Star. I'm just gonna play Slowking right here as the Pokemon, since we're now exploring all the Pokemon. You could also play a single copy of double colorless energy in your deck, just to try and make things a little bit faster. With Mountain Munch of this Durant, you can discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. So if it is equipped with Shedinja, you can keep using Durant time and time again, and you can even get your double colorless energy back thanks to research management. So that way you can mill the opponent faster. Then they will dig for their Guzmas, and if their deck is empty, almost empty, you can try and spam Durant. That is also a way I've seen it work. So Shedinja, you want to be playing a ton of the Nincada. So Nincada is going to be your main way. You just want to get them out as quickly as possible. How are we going to do that? That's more information you want here. So ball engines. There's a lot of engines we can use here. Pre-rotation, we have of course NAS balls and Ultra Balls and all that good stuff. Even Great Ball is a way to, I've seen it work. So you want to be maximize these counts so you can get all your stuff out. The thing you want here is get 2 Oranguru out, 2 Zebstrika, and then a bunch of Ninkadas that evolve into Shedinja eventually. So everything is equipped, and as soon as the Shedinja is equipped on Oranguru, you can spam every research management, you sprint once again, and that is how the deck functions. So the thing you want to do here is make sure the opponent never takes the prize card by spamming Shedinja onto an Oranguru and Zebstrika to draw it out. That is going to be the main way to do it. I know there is a main weakness. As I mentioned early game, they can target the little Ninkadas, and also Guzma is a main threat if something does not have Shedinja equipped. So that's why things like Slowking saw play. And also Field Blower is quite the issue here. The reason that this deck was successful is that of course nobody played Field Blower, or actually not a lot of people play Field Blower, but Field Blower can get rid of the Shedinja, and that makes it very favorable. If you're running a Field Blower, you're gonna have an awesome time against this kind of deck. So these are main weaknesses right there. Also, Palpat seems to be kind of a weakness if they can recover their Guzmas. So you want to have a way to get rid of their Guzmas. As mentioned, Slowking is an ideal card to do that, but there is also another way to do it. Another combo I've seen work is here with Hiker. Hiker is a supporter. Look at the top 5 cards of either player's deck, and you can choose one. Actually, let's just restate that. The player shuffles the other cards back into their deck. Okay, choose one of them, and that has to be put on the top of the deck. So you can look at the top 5 cards, see, oh, there's a Guzma on top, you smack it on the top of the deck, and afterwards you finish the job with, of course, Trumbeak. Trumbeak is here with Mountain Pass. Once during our turn, we can just put it in the Lost Zone, and you can check out the top card of the opponent's deck. If it's a supporter, we can put it in the Lost Zone. So the Hiker Trumbeak combo also is kind of a way to overcome those a lot of Guzmas. So that is also kind of a strategy right there. For other Pokemon, of course, Nincada is a 4-off, that is for sure. Then a 4-4 of Zebstrika. There is a way to be playing 2 different Blitzels. We have the one with 70 HP. If you're playing NAS balls, Great Balls, and all that stuff, play the 70 HP. If you're playing Alm's Lecture to get everything out, then Blitzel, the one with 60 HP, is your best bet. So there is an option to be playing Professor Alm's Lecture, but also a way to just play a lot of search engine. Pokemon Communication is also kind of a way to be searching things out, because with Alm's Lecture, you can put a 60 HP in your hand and then Communication for whatever you might want. And Alm's Lecture also gets out the Shedinjas, which have 40 HP, so that is fantastic. Either you play 4 copies of Elm, or you play 4 copies of Lily, together with a lot of bulk engine cards. So that is that. So for other supporters, so now that we are almost through all the Pokemon, let me just smack another Pokemon down. Ditto is also kind of a must. That is kind of like your 5th Nincada or your 5th Blitzel here. So it can evolve into either Zebstrika, Shedinja, or even Slowking if you're going for the water type variant of this deck. If you're playing water type energies, maybe this is going to be kind of a great mechanic. If you're playing water type energy and double colorless energy, sometimes you could be using the attack Psychic against like a Charizard. That is something I've seen work before. And then of course I think Mew is kind of a must nowadays because Wheezing is doing incredibly well. With Mew, you prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon, so that gives you kind of an edge here against spread archetypes like, of course, Wheezing, Tapu Koko, Shenanigans. You definitely want to protect your bench because if everything dies at once, I don't think everything will have a Shedinja equipped in it, and everything goes to the discard immediately, so that is a kind of a weakness this deck has. With Mew, you cover that weakness. So the things that I think are a must are now on the screen, so Mew, Ditto, and of course, you'll be playing either the Blitzo with 70 HP and or 60 HP, a 4 off, 4 Zebstrika, 4 Shedinja, 2 Orangurus is sufficient, I think, then 1 Ditto and then Mew. That is actually kind of a must in this deck. So now that we have explored all the Pokemon, let's explore some more item cards. So this is kind of an archetype here. That typically wants to get the opponent out of resources. Typically you want to get rid of all their Guzmas, but you can also leave the opponent stuck in the active position. We have things like Custom Catcher that gives you a lot of time to just equip all those Shedinja tool cards. And for the supporters, as mentioned, there is of course the Lily Engine or the Professor Elm. Let's just put all the supporters I think are a good option here in the deck. So either Elm's Lecture or Lily. Then there's Ingo and Emmet. If you're not familiar with this card, it lets you look at the top card of your deck, and then you can either draw 5 cards from the top or draw 5 cards from the bottom of your deck. This makes it very, very nice because it draws from the bottom. Sometimes you can use Oranguru with their resource management, put stuff on the bottom of the deck, and with Ingo and Emmet you can draw them out immediately. That's why this is better than things like Sightseer. So yeah, if you're playing supporters, that is going to be like a 2 or a 3 off, depending on how you are having your supporter count. Tantalize is also very interesting, make you switch if you're stuck in the active, but also has a kind of a draw engine behind it. There's Brock's Grid, definitely a 1 or a 2 off even, because you want to recover all your Pokemon. You go so fast through your deck, and with things like Zebstrika, you use Sprint every single turn, so that means there's going to be a lot of resources wasted. With Brock's Grid, you can get a combination of energies and Pokemon, 6 in total, back into the deck, and that's going to be helping you out. Then for the milling kind of strategy here, Faba is interesting. It lets you put a tool card, special energy, or a stadium of the end plate. I can put in the lost zone. That helps out against opposing Shedinjas if you're coming across that. But it's gonna be interesting to put like stadiums in the lost zone, tool cards of the opponent in the lost zone, and more like that. Also, Mars is interesting since the opponent will never ever take a prize card. You can spam Mars, drawing 2 cards, and then you can discard a random card from the opponent's hand. Sometimes that could be kind of like a Guzma or something. You definitely want to get rid of all the opponent's Guzmas, and a deck that runs 4 Guzma with Mars, with of course the Hiker, Trumbeak combo, and all that good stuff. You'll be definitely getting rid of the Guzmas before they can play all of them. And then of course Gladion. Gladion is going to be kind of a must in this deck because sometimes things will be priced, and since we're never taking a prize card, it's going to be very hard to access those prize cards. Sometimes your winning card will be in the prize cards, and you definitely want to be using Gladion at that time. There's also the way to play Palpad if you just want to recover all of these supporters, because Palpad with research management is actually kind of a huge combo. So that is all the supporters I wanted to mention in this video. As mentioned, you can choose between Lily or between the Professor Elm's Lecture as a 4 off. All the rest is like a 1 off or maybe even a 2 off. And if that's not enough, there's a lot of supporters. If you want to be using 2 of them at the same time, let's say you want to be using a Mars together with, or maybe a better combo, you want to be using a Gladion and then use a supporter that is in your prize cards, then Lieutenant Search is your main way to do it. If you're behind in prize cards, which will always happen, if the early game will definitely lose a couple of prizes with our weakening Karas, then you can use 2 supporters at once after you've played that one. There's a lot of options of supporters, so that is going to be fantastic. 1 copy of Lieutenant Search is always a nice idea. Okay, I think I'm almost through this entire deck. So the entire deck is all about ball engines, and then you can spam, of course, your Shedinja combo. Items that might be interesting: Crushing Hammer, Enhanced Hammer, or Counter Catcher. These will slow the opponent down if you're facing off against a deck with a lot of special energies. Think about Zoroark, Dugong, or whatever. You can get rid of the special energies to slow them down. And Counter Catcher, if something has a lot of retreat cost, they will definitely have to use Guzma. And if everything has a Shedinja equipped, they will have a hard time ahead of them. So that is the deck for you. Let me know what you personally think about Shedinja. I think Shedinja is kind of a good deck right now, but as soon as a lot of people figure out like, ooh, I definitely need Field Blower in my deck for things like Fairy Charms, for things like spell attacks of the wheezing, people will definitely attack in Field Blower, and then Shedinja will definitely not make it or actually be as good as it is right now. It was good, it was like a once in a lifetime opportunity because a lot of people did not play Field Blower in their list, and that's why Shedinja actually made it to top 8. I think that there were 2 players that got into top 8 with Shedinja, including Azul, if I remember, and Pedros. I have to just, Jimmy or something. I have to recheck that, but it's gonna be very amazing. All of these amazing players did play Shedinja, or actually a couple of them played Shedinja, and it worked out in their favor. But now I'm interested in your opinion. What do you think about Shedinja? Will you test it out for yourself? Will it be good post-rotation? I'm interested in your opinion. And is this your playstyle? Is it kind of different than stall? Don't get rid of the opponent's energies too often, but you just make sure that the opponent doesn't take any single prize card, which is also kind of fun if you're playing it, but not fun if you're facing off against it. Anyhow, this was Zebstrika TCG. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Subscribe for more Pokemon TCG content on a weekly basis, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace out.
If you wanna go and test a deck that isn't played a lot in this format, then listen to what I'll say. If you wanna go and try it out with me, let me know how it does in a tournament. I think it could be really great. Chilling on Sundays while new ideas pop in my brain. Where is